I'm Heather from Here Booktubes, and welcome to my shortest monthly wrap-up ever. Probably soon to be followed in June by my longest monthly wrap-up ever. We shall see. But I read dramatically less this month, and I did not really enjoy most of the things that I did pick up. So, bit of a disaster, but what have you. So, in the month of May, I read 13 books. I DNF 5 of them, and so I'm going to talk about 8 here today. I do DNF a lot. We know this. But, as always, going in chronological order of the books I read. So the first one I read was The Sitcom Star, which is Choose Restaurant #1 by Jackie Lau. I gave this 3 stars. This is a repeat author for me. I really enjoy their books. I've read quite a bit of them. This is like Schitt's Creek meets Abbott Elementary. So Choose Restaurant is actually the name of the show, and it is a Canadian Asian show, and the creator and star of the show is our female main character, and then the hero is her childhood friend. Basically, they went to school together and they just happened to run into each other. Unfortunately, the guy was really insecure, and even though he didn't really make a huge issue of that and didn't make a huge issue of her celebrity with her in his inner monologue, we were getting a lot of he didn't feel like he was good enough for her simply because she was famous now. So that did really bring my enjoyment of the book down significantly, because I was like, sir, get your act together. We're almost at the end of the book. Get some confidence here. But overall, it was still very enjoyable, just not a new favorite from her. Then I read The Apothecary Diaries, volumes 1 through 3 of this manga, and I gave the first one 5 stars and the next 2 4 stars. This is my only 5-star of the month, and by far the thing I enjoyed the most of the month. So this was specifically a recommendation from Ashley at Bookish Realm. I heard her talk about how much she loved it, and that really made me want to read it. And then Izzy at Happy For Now was like, oh yeah, I love that one. I have it. I'll send it to you. So if you were a fan of Sherlock Holmes and just, I don't know, just all that type of thing, I like it a lot. So basically she is an apothecary, so she has a working knowledge of medicines and poisons, and she was kidnapped and sold as a slave to the palace. So she's working there, and then she used to work in the pleasure district, and through a series of events she recognizes what is causing someone's health to fail, and so she steps in, and that gets the attention of powerful people. She moves on up in life and is now a lady in waiting, basically. So she moves up to that and is, you know, rubbing elbows with the actual significant people in the palace, and is kind of solving an issue at every volume. There's poisons, there's investigating, there's brewing of potions, there's also banter with a fella that we don't really know who he is, but I have my suspicions on some of his possible identities. But he kind of wants to use her for his own gain, but also is weirdly obsessed with her. And she has no idea. She's completely oblivious. She thinks that he is a dork. And it's just very, very fun. And I'm really looking forward to continuing this series in the future. So highly recommend. Really a big hit for me. Then I read Tikka Chance on Me by Suleikha Snyder. I actually don't know how to pronounce her name, even though we are mutuals on Twitter. This is a novella, and unfortunately, I really didn't like it. So, anywho, he's working undercover in a motorcycle club, and he always goes to her family's Indian restaurant, and her dad, I want to say, one of her parents had a health issue, and so she left college and came back home to help in the restaurant and to help them. And so she serves him a lot at the restaurant, and that's how they have a romance. He breaks every undercover rule you've ever seen in your entire life. And for what? And for what reason? This, I like insta-love, but this felt unbelievably insta-love to me in a way that just really didn't work for me at all. I didn't buy their relationship at all. I thought a lot of the things with the plot were specifically the law enforcement plot, were poorly done and would have been better off not being there. I just didn't enjoy it at all. Then I read Possessed, which is Raider Warlords of the Vandar, #1 by Tana Stone. I gave this 3 stars. This is an alien romance. They are obsessed with each other, but have to hold out for absolutely no reason. So basically, the female main character ship, they end up where they shouldn't be, and her sister is the captain, and she is the, what are words today? Navigator for the ship. So it's her fault that they ended up in this other alien race's zone. The alien is going to kill the captain, this girl's sister. So she volunteers as tribute and is like, no. So he's like, all right, I'm not killing you though. I'm keeping you. So she is his to do with what he wants, basically. And of course, she couldn't possibly be his mate. That's not possible. What are we gonna do? I just don't know. I don't know what twist we could do to make this work. Yeah, it felt very repetitive and just okay. Basically, he would go to the command center and he would be like helping the ship, and then she would get attacked. She like never left his bedroom. She would get attacked. He would not rescue her. She would miraculously be saved by the time he got to her. Then he would leave her alone in his room again. She would be attacked. He would hear about, but miraculously she survived without his help. Then she'd be in his room. You get the picture. But that happened so many times that I was like, what are we doing here, folks? We definitely could have made this shorter and just had this happen once or twice or 3 times even. But like, we could have made this book shorter just by not doing this over and over again. It was just okay. Then I read King of Spades, which is Black Spades Trilogy #1 by Steph Macca. I gave this 2 stars. I have an entire 20-minute rant video on this book, so honestly, don't feel the need to really rant about it too much here, but this is a why choose dark gang high school romance. So I know I just lost like a bunch of you right there, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. This is a trilogy. I'm obviously unlikely to pick up books 2 and 3. Yeah, I don't know. It reads a lot like every other dark why choose book I've ever read. I will say I did find it fairly readable, even as I was like, oh my god, I'm taking notes for this rant at this point. It was still easily consumable. It wasn't a chore to finish, so make of that what you will. And then lastly, I read The Bodyguard Proposal by Sookh. I gave this 4 stars. I actually waffled between a 5 and a 4 star for this. This is lots of tropes I don't like at all. However, it was really well done. It did make me feel emotions that I did not want to feel. Okay, so she is the adopted daughter of a Bollywood star, an actress, and it's just been the 2 of them always, and she has a lot of unhealthy expectations on herself as her mother's daughter, and her mother wants her to be an actress, and she doesn't have any other life plans, so she might as well be, but she really doesn't like fame. She's grown up surrounded by fame and the paparazzi and public opinion, and something that she really doesn't enjoy at all, and is, you know, a unfortunate part of her otherwise very fortunate life. So she doesn't want to be an actress, but she just doesn't know how to tell her mother no. She feels a lot of gratitude to her mother for choosing to adopt her. And so there are some unhealthy family relationships because they are adults that are unable to communicate with each other. So her mom has gotten her into a movie, and she is going to go on a trip to London to basically enjoy the rest of her life before fame becomes even more a part of her life. And her mother insists that her mother's head of security goes with her. They're actually very close in age. He's 30 and she's 26, so he's much closer to her age than not. But he is obsessed with her, and she has no idea. And he is very... Hello? Anywho, I don't know exactly what I was saying, but the bodyguard is very security minded, very protective, all of that. You do have content warnings because he has the historical death of his sister of cancer, and that's mentioned quite a bit. Overall, these two don't feel like they can be together, not only because of the job situation, but just because of the life situation and public perception. And what that would mean, the yearning, the angst, the pining, the emotional, just, ugh. I felt a lot of things with this book that I didn't really want to feel, because that's not like my favorite thing. It's not that I think it's bad, it's that I know it's good and it makes me feel things, and I don't want to feel these things. I have enough, you know, problems of my own. I don't need to finish a book and feel like my heart aching. Which is what I got with this one. So I mean, obviously it's a good recommendation for anyone who is looking for that, but I sadly try to avoid that at all costs. The sex in this was good. It was good. It was very, very good. If you like a dominant hero in the bedroom, you're gonna like this book. If you like a little brathiness in the bedroom, you're gonna like this book. It was really well written, and again, like, the emotional aspect of it I think was very involved. So if you are looking for a book that is slow burn, has steam, has some steamy encounters long before the like 70% mark or whatever, where they do finally have a full scene. But yeah, like, I do think that that can be a problem in the trend in romance right now, where it is steamy scenes for the sake of steamy scenes, and that's, you know, a big part of the marketing of the book. And again, like, I love very explicit romances. Like, I have no issue with you opening up with a bang, literally. However, I do think that sometimes the steamy scenes can really feel like they are just copy and pasted, or insert here the scene, not what's happening in the scene, just the actual scene, insert here in the book, you know. And it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for our characters, and or it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us and our storyline to be getting another sex scene every couple of pages, right? So I think that that can be an issue. This is one where, again, even though they're not having an actual sex scene until about 70% of the book, there are a lot of almost and encounters and that tug and pull, and, you know, pushed up against the wall and don't tempt me, you know, those sorts of things, where they are so obviously attracted to one another and are kind of trying to fight it and not succeeding super well, that I think that really works, because you're not just waiting for no reason, but also you're doing what makes sense for the characters in a way that when you do get those payoffs, even on some of the scenes before that, it feels very meaningful for our characters. And because of that, and just because it is well written, I, as the reader, I think felt more invested and felt like those scenes were above average. Partially, I think, due to the characters themselves. So the dirty talk, great. This book was actually quite funny at a few different places. I was smiling and enjoying myself with some of the humor. And yeah, I mean, if you just want a hero that has reverence in the way that they treat the main character, and again, if you are more into angst and pining and yearning and slow burn than I am, and you don't mind those kind of messy family conflicts and feeling the pressure of family expectations specifically, then you would probably love this book. So that's it. That's all of the books that I read in the month of May. For diversity, I did hit above 50% for the first time this year. Sadly, not like the greatest reading month for that to happen, but I did. So only 2 of these were by white authors, And the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these were by Asian authors. So I'm a winner, I guess. I am ending this month. Well, actually, I am filming this on the 30th. So technically, I'll probably be another book down for this month. But so right now I'm 1 book ahead of schedule. I started the month like 10 books ahead of schedule on the reading challenge. So things have not gone well, but I'll probably end on track, honestly. However, in June, pretty sure got shoot up there because of the Amazing Readathon. So basically, I've been saving books for June and we're gonna try and cram them all in. So wish me luck. I'm not sure I'm entirely optimistic, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So that's it. That's all the books that I read in May. Let me know if you have read or want to read any of these. And thanks for watching my shortest monthly wrap up ever. Bye!